Just doing a quick video to wrap up for the end of March and for the end of the first quarter. This has been my best percentage gain ever this quarter just gone, and if there was ever going to be a test of my trading method, this was it, and it's performed outstandingly well. And I'm so happy with my algorithms, have gone great. The free one and the paid one that I've got has gone awesome. Especially in the last month, they've done exceptionally well, which I'll show at the end of the video. And my commodities trades are doing great. My manual forex trading's awesome. Even had a good go on cryptos at the start of the year, so it's been a fantastic experience so far this year, and hopefully don't want to jinx myself, but I'm on track to have my best year ever by far, so don't want to go putting a monster on myself, but certainly I've made already in this first quarter what I'd normally make by the mid-year point, so I'm very happy with how I've gone so far. And my investors have made an absolute fortune, and they're helping their families who are now in trouble with the coronavirus. They're off work, so they're helping their families with the money that I've made for them, so that's awesome too. So I would have liked to get a group of people trained up on my trading method and get them to join me in this journey, but unfortunately human nature doesn't really work that way, so it's just a bit of a shame. But anyway, I tried my best, and the people who tried my method tried their best, but it just doesn't work that way for some reason. I don't know if it's possible. Maybe it's not possible to show your trading method to somebody else. I don't know. I'm not a trading tutor, so I don't know how to go about it, but I tried my best. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the charts. Quick look now. Just the SPY has been awesome. The SPY has rallied off the support here, off the daily support. So it's done a mean reversion back up here. So I hit it with calls, and now I've just closed out my calls. Looking to hit this again on the downside, so just have a look at some of the other main ones. QQQ also hit this with calls. The VIX has come off quite a bit. It's hard to say what the VIX is going to do from here, but just going to keep an eye on it. And the VIX is not really showing any bearish signs at the moment, so just got to be careful not to try and anticipate what's happening, but just follow the evidence, what's at hand. So the Nikkei has certainly put in a reversal off the bounce that it made, so that rally didn't last long on the Nikkei, so it's probably a good indication that the US markets it's now the 1st of April, so I wouldn't be surprised if these lows are tested and even broken. DAX has been also awesome. That's also looking like a failed rally here, but we don't want to wait for the evidence to be confirmed first. Junk bonds have also rallied hard. Junk bonds were good calls, awesome puts, and then flipped to calls for junk bonds, but that looks like it's also failing, that rally now, so getting ready to hit it with puts again. Bund has been awesome. Bund turned off the top here. Just had a ripping move to the downside, but I don't know, it's in consolidation at the moment. I have to see what it does. TLT has been awesome. TLT looks like it's just that rallies coming to an end now potentially. It's in a distribution on the daily here, so Bitcoin rallied a bit, but it's now rally is petered out on Bitcoin as well. Litecoin also been choppy. I haven't been trading Litecoin. I've been trading some of the altcoins, but traded Litecoin back in the start of the year, but I haven't been trading it since then, since it turned pretty much cryptos and the stock market and everything turned all together. So gold has been really good. It's just that rally got a bit overextended there. The US dollar's recovering a bit of ground, so the gold's selling off a little bit, but oil's been awesome trading. It's been one of my favourites, oil. It's been so good since it broke down here. It's just been the gift that keeps on giving. It's overextended to the downside now, obviously, so it'll be interesting to see where it finds the bottom and maybe a bit of a rally, reversion rally. The emerging markets have been hammered, obviously. That's what everyone, all the big names that I follow, like Jim Rogers. Jim Rogers is the one that wears the bow tie. He was always saying, watch for trouble in the emerging markets as a sign of the next financial crisis, and sure enough, that's exactly where it turned up. He said it'll be the thing that you least expect, and it sure was. That's why I use my trading method. Just tells me, if I don't have to be an expert on these things, my trading method will tell me when to be long. I just wasn't that I was smart enough to pick the top. I just wasn't getting any long entries. The market was overextended according to my method, and I wasn't getting long entries. I just started picking up short entries as they were, and then it just ended up. It keeps on going. So here, what's the weekly? It's the weekly trend line here on the dollar, and it respected that trend line support there on the US dollar index, and it bounced and it came back in quite hard. Just seeing what the dollar does at the moment, but it's stuck in this consolidation here at the moment. But the breadth indicator came right down to this GFC level, the lowest we've seen it since the GFC. It's not showing any sign of turning up yet, so that tells us to be aware that this rally is most likely going to be short term, and we're most likely going to see a test. I wouldn't be surprised. This line here is 50% Fibo retracement. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a test ultimately down to this level here. I wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, but we don't want to make any assumptions about it because we've seen this before, where whoever comes in, maybe it's the exchange stabilization fund or something. They come in and they just rip the shorts face off. So, but at the moment, people are just not bearish enough at the moment. There's sort of too optimistic still at the moment for this to be the bottom. But usually when people, like at this point here, what was that? The 2nd of March 2009, everyone hated stocks so much they couldn't stand the sight of stocks, and then QE started here, and then you don't know if that was just a false rally there or not at the time. But had I known what I do now, I wouldn't have been. I was a bit late to the party back in the GFC, but I wasn't this time. But I didn't really understand, didn't really have the knowledge and whatever to handle a full on. I'd been through the 2000 tech tech crash and all that, and the 9/11 crash, but the 2008 GFC was a bit of a different animal because we had a lot of different things going on there, which was very hard to understand. But now this coronavirus, we don't know what. I believe that the market was overdue for a reversal, whether it was related to the virus or not. The virus certainly helped it along, but I believe we would have seen something like this had it not been for the virus anyway. But, so how much downside we've got yet, we don't want to say. We don't want to make any just take it. I'm a short-term trader, not an investor, so I'm really looking at the short term. And check out the gold price in Australian dollars. That's been awesome. It's got up to 2,630 an ounce. So that was awesome. And could have a small pullback. It's getting a bit overextended now, so I'm rapt about that. I found quite a few good nuggets. I'll show you my best nugget that I've ever found. I found that just recently in Western Victoria. So I'm actually away at the moment, so I won't be uploading this video till the weekend. But this is the Fear and Greed Index. That's the where it bounced off the bottom here, but very rarely do you get a V-shaped reversal like that. The normal thing is to get these tests, either 1 or 2 or 3 tests of this low here. So I expect to see that here again. I expect this Fear and Greed Index to test back to the lows here again when this short-term rally fails. But it was interesting here, this rally where we broke through the 125-day moving average here, it retested back up to the 100. That was what previous support here was, and then it ended up being resistance on the retest. So that was interesting, and then down she went. So this is the breadth highs and lows. So that's obvious. That was the 21st of March, 21st of February when that flipped bearish, and it was spot on, the same as my breadth indicator flipped bearish on the 21st of February. And so we're considering it to be bearish until we get back above this line here. The yield, high yield versus investment grade bonds. That's come back a bit from the highs, but it's not over yet. I saw something like this ahead of the GFC, and I think we've got a long way to go in this story before it plays out with the virus too. It's certainly not going to be a short-term fix. I don't believe so anyway. But the breadth here, weak breadth, and also flipped on the 21st of new highs and lows, rather new highs, new 50-week highs and lows there. That was flipped on the 21st of Feb, and this flipped breadth flipped also on the 21st to bearish. So until we get back above here, we consider the market to be bearish. And stocks to bonds, stocks have recovered a bit versus bonds, but that was quite early. The bonds were picking up quite early before this, before the stocks were rising relative to bonds early on. VIX is pulling back a bit, but could still spike again. And the puts relative to calls have come off quite a bit, but that could rally up again. So interesting to see what happens there. But let's have a quick look at the futures. And the futures are turning over. Looks like it's going to be a bearish start for the market. We're going to retest, almost certainly retest the lows think. But, it's a huge bear flag. Just come back. It's a huge bear flag at the moment. So gold, silver. So bonds are just been a bit flat, sort of kind of in a consolidation, but still holding up. Bonds are, so they can still rally. And look at that. Forex has been awesome, especially in the last month or so. Been running my algos on pound US, and they've just done awesome. So in March, particularly in March, the whole month of March was awesome. I'm also doing manual trading on my manual forex account, as well as running the algos on separate accounts. So, and we'll have a look at those now. This is my algo. This is the one I paid for. This is going awesome. This is on a large account. As you can see, I'm still doing the directional trading. You telling the algorithm what way to trade, and then it's still automated. I'm just telling it what way. I'm just forcing it to trade in only one direction. That's the only difference. But it's going awesome. It hasn't missed one. There's not one. The success rate is phenomenal on it. And this is the other. This is the free one, believe it or not. This is on a $50,000 account, and it's made $21,000 since the start of March on a $50,000 account. So just under 50% gain for a month. So that's just phenomenal. So that's also me telling it what direction to trade in. It's not running by itself completely. I'm just setting it in the direction I want it to trade, and then I can set it to just trade one set of how many trades I want to trade, and then once the set finishes, then I just restart it. And I just keep doing this over and over. I'm getting extremely high success rate doing this, and it's going excellent. So hopefully I'm hoping to be able to show this to other people and get them to start using it. But you've got to have an idea of price action, though, which a lot of people aren't going to have if they're just starting out. So it's going to be a bit difficult for most people to get results like this, but it's going awesome. I'm very happy with how it's going so far. And I've got an idea. I want to get one made. I'm going to get someone to make me an algorithm on what's the name, that Upwork, the freelancer. So I'm going to see if I can find a programmer to make me one as well. So it's going very well. And then I do my manual trading. I run these in the quietest times of the day, and then I do my manual trading as well. And on a separate account, I run my manual trades on a separate account, and I run the algos on their own account. And this is my biggest nugget ever. This is about 4.2 ounces, the whole thing in total. So I don't know how much gold is in it yet, but I'm going to find out. But it's worth more in one piece like that. That for a collector will pay more than the how much gold's in it. They'll pay more. They'll pay premium price for that nugget as a collector's item. So I'm going to find out how much it's worth yet, but it's going to be exciting. It's my biggest by far. So very excited about that. All right, bye.